Hey guys, so it's time to do the video where I'm going to go ahead and compare the Samsung Galaxy S3 versus the Samsung Galaxy S2. As you do know, I have been using Galaxy phones for quite some time. Basically, the Galaxy S2 was one of the first Android smartphones that I purchased, and I just loved it. And then I used that phone for a few months. Here it's on the left side, and then I started to use the Galaxy Note when that phone came out, and that's basically like a huge Galaxy S2. To say kind of easily. So I've been using that phone for like a half a year, and then now very recently I purchased the Samsung Galaxy S3. And I know a lot of the things I'm doing on this channel and a lot of the reasons why I can do this is because a lot of people are interested in these Galaxy phones. So I just want to make a quick little video here, try to cover them and talk about what I hate and what I love and all that. So let's everything go! So let's go ahead, and first thing I just want to go ahead and show off the design. I mean, of course you do know the Galaxy S2 design. Of course this is the European edition. You have the plastic, you have the down there. Same goes with the new Galaxy phone. You have the kind of big home button there, rectangle kind of shape, I think. This is how it looks like, and I mean, like, if you go ahead and talk about the Galaxy S3 and the materials that they have used, it kind of has this kind of same feeling when you hold the device and everything. But some things that you will notice, of course, about these phones, some first things here is that the Galaxy S3 comes with a 4.8-inch screen versus a 4.3-inch screen. So as you can see, when you put them on top, you can see that it's a little bit bigger, okay? Mostly it's higher, okay? Mostly it's higher. In terms of thickness, I actually do believe that the Galaxy S3 is a tiny bit thicker. But it's a little bit thicker here, it's a little bit wider, longer. But when you hold it like this, it doesn't actually feel that much bigger. You're going from 4.3 to 4.8, and I'm kind of used to a 5.3-inch screen on the Galaxy Note, but it doesn't really feel that much bigger. One of the reasons is because they made it way more rounded off on the sides, so it really feels good ergonomically when you hold it, and it feels kind of tiny compared to this one that has a little bit less curved sides. You can also see that the home button is kind of changed, it's a little bit thinner right now. And it could be also a little longer versus this one, and I think it gives it a little bit of a more modern feel to it. Of course it comes with Gorilla Glass 2 as well, so it will be like way more durable. Okay, it's good stuff, it's very good stuff. Also you get the LED notification light up here on top, uses with the Galaxy Nexus, so when you get like emails and stuff, you have that blinking little thing over there. So that's kind of nice. I mean, I use that all the time, and it's kind of nice. But I mean, if you talk about the design, it's more durable, it's a little bigger, it's a little bit more curved, so it actually feels the battery to hold in your hand. Yeah, so that's a quick little roundup there of how it looks like. Of course, it looks a little bit different here on the back as well. Looks a little bit different. Yeah, looks a little bit more rounded off over here. Here you got everything centered, and of course you can still take off the back on both. Okay, there we go. If we take off the back, you have the normal SIM card. You have a 1650 milliamp battery. If you go ahead and take off the back over here, you actually do it from the top, and you can see that we have like a bigger battery. It is a 2100 milliamp battery. You can also see, yeah, there we go, micro SD card. You can still have it on the Galaxy S3. You have a micro SIM on this one, and then I think you have a normal SIM card on the Galaxy S2. So something that you might want to know when you buy this device, that it has that smaller SIM card. But let's just go ahead and check these phones out in a quick little testing here. And yeah, also if you go ahead and take a look here on the colors, I gotta say, this Galaxy S2's color over here looks a little bit more white, but overall I don't think it's a big deal. So let's just go ahead and fire these phones up and start to do some testing with them. As you can see, we have them both turned on right now. Currently it's running, both are running on Android 4.0 basically. So let's just go ahead and check out that version first. I'm just going to go into settings over here, so you also can see the difference in the Galaxy S3's Android 4.0 versus the Galaxy S2's Android 4.0 update. I mean, like, when you are in here, you can basically see that they do kind of look the same. And I think the brightness is a little bit down. Yes, exactly. When I look at these screens, I can see that they kind of look very identical. I mean, the screen technology is basically kind of the same, but the Galaxy S2 has Super AMOLED Plus, and the Galaxy S3 has Pentile screen, uses the Galaxy Note and the Galaxy Nexus. If you ask me, I don't personally see that of a huge, massive difference in the screen technologies, but some people seem to do. You can see the Android version 4.0.3 over here and Android version 4.0.4 in the Galaxy S3. You can see some kernel stats and things like that. Let's just go ahead and do a quick little restart here so you can go ahead and see the performance. You can also see that when I was going out that it was a little bit faster on the Galaxy S3. Let's go ahead and do a restart. Of course, the Galaxy S3 is also rocking on like a 50% better processor. Still the same GPU, Mali 400, but it's overclocked around 50%. So it's way better when you're playing games and stuff. As you can see, we are up and running already. There we go, not too far behind. If you just look at the price, you can get this device. It takes a little bit longer time to load up, and still a little bit sluggish, but not too bad. You know, not too bad. You can get the Galaxy S2 for around half the price from what I've seen of what the Galaxy S3 costs. So I mean, like, it's still a very good phone. Okay. But as you can see, I mean, it loaded up definitely quicker and everything, so that's something that you want to check out. Also, one thing here that I want to take a look at, and something that I think is pretty big with the Galaxy S3, is that they made some changes to the TouchWiz UI. Like, if you go ahead and swipe from the top, you can see here that we have much more settings up here on the top of the Galaxy S3 phone over here. If you can swipe like this, you can see that we have way more settings. Like, one of the settings that I've been starting to use more is this notification settings, so you can remove notifications so they don't pop up and become like annoying. You have a driving mode, you have some more modes over here basically, and then you also have a quick access to settings over here. So something that's pretty nice when you want to quickly access it. And that's something that we've been seeing more in Android 4.0, that you have that quick shortcut over there, so that's very nice. I think we're gonna go ahead and go to like the Google Play Store, and let's try to go ahead and download some apps, shall we? Yeah, we shall. We should go ahead and download some apps. So let's just go ahead and let's fire them up at the same time. And we can also hold down the Task Manager to see. Okay, we don't have. If you go ahead and go to the Task Manager, let's go ahead and remove all. And see how much it's running on. This is kind of fun. Right now, when I'm currently checking out the RAM usage, I can see that I'm using 355 megabytes RAM on the Galaxy S3 versus 370 on the Galaxy S2. So that's kind of interesting, and something that I was looking forward to a lot on the Galaxy S3 was that I was going to see more RAM, like 1.5 gigabyte or 2 gigabyte, because it feels really like it's necessary, and that future phones is going to need that more amount of RAM, because we're using more multitasking, we're using heavier apps and things like that. And from what I've seen, the Galaxy S3 variant in the States is going to be rocking on first this awesome Snapdragon S4 dual-core processor, same as with the HTC One S, and then also it's going to come with like 2 gigabytes of RAM, and that's just amazing. I mean, like, I definitely want to have that. Same with the LG Optimus LTE2, that's also rocking 2 gigabytes of RAM, and that was basically like the first phone that unveiled that. But I mean, as you clearly can see here, kind of fun. You can see that you have they're stating in the specs that you get 1 gigabyte RAM, both on the Galaxy S2 and on the Galaxy S3. But as you can see, I only have 780 megabytes of RAM on the Galaxy S3, and I have basically more, what it says here, 831 megabytes of RAM on the Galaxy S2. Now, I'm not sure if this many times when I use a couple of apps, I'm around 500 to 600 megabytes of RAM. I'm pretty sure how maybe Android is optimized, so it's cool to be running that amount of RAM that you never can access, or that you can have that you never reach that top limit of 1 gigabyte of RAM. I'm not sure. If you go ahead and hit clear here on RAM, it says 24 applications closed. I'm pretty sure what the hell that's going. Is that just I didn't have any background apps running. Is it just processors in the background? I'm not really sure. But 24, that was kind of a lot there. If you go ahead and tap on storage, as you can see here, I filled up my device kind of a lot. Of course, you can use micro SD card on both, as I've been stating earlier there. Active applications, we shouldn't have anything open up. Okay, so there we go. Let's go ahead and fire up Google Play and let's just try to download an app. Let's go ahead and open up at the same time. Both connected to my home Wi-Fi. Way faster on the Galaxy S3. And let's go ahead and download something like, I don't know, maybe Angry Birds. Angry Birds. Angry Birds Space. No, Angry Birds Rio, I think. Something that I definitely don't have. Okay, there we go. And when I'm looking at the screens right now, I can see that it definitely looks the Galaxy S2 screen looks very yellowish compared to the Galaxy S3 screen. I'm not really sure why. I mean, it is a Super AMOLED Plus screen, but here it really looks like the Pental screen is much better. Very similar there in speeds. Oh shit. As you can see here, overall it feels like you won't see that major difference when you're doing small things like this. We're gonna go ahead and check out the browser as well and check out some benchmarking tests, but I mean, when you're in menus and stuff like that, when you're scrolling through stuff, you can definitely feel like the Galaxy S3 is a lot better with the quad-core Exynos versus the dual-core Exynos. Both are of course based on Cortex A9, but that you get 2 more cores on the Galaxy S3, you can really feel that. Already right now I can already open up. Okay, both were going out of the app pretty quick, you know. If you go ahead and see here, you can go ahead and okay, you can see it's a tiny bit faster there. You can also see over here that we're getting some RAM is a little bit higher. You can see that we've been seeing some problems here with the RAM on the Galaxy S2 here. It's using around 34 megabytes. But oh yeah, there we go, around 10% of the CPU it's currently using. So you can see that we are getting some small problems here, and that it's much more stable here on the Galaxy S3. So I mean, things like this, 50% of the CPU, we have the same things open up and everything. It's already starting to get some problems here. Let's just keep that in the background and let's see how it's going to perform when we still do some other tasks. Let's go ahead and download another app. Let's go ahead and download let's go ahead and go to categories, go to games. I definitely want to download a big game, maybe not too big. Here of course got the latest stuffs. We have that one installed. Looking for a game here that I don't have installed on any of these. Zombie Smash, maybe. Let's see. I think I want to go to top 3 so I don't have to pay to one app or on one of the phones, and it will just be confusing. Hambo, Logo Quiz, Tower Defense. I have Tower Defense here somewhere. Place 13. Okay, here we go. It's rocking its way faster here on the Galaxy S3. Maybe that could probably be because this phone is a little bit faster, and then everything goes quicker. Maybe the net is, or I mean, like the network also is like faster. And like, I mean, like we're getting things faster. Everything is going much quicker. Clearly, as you can see here. Go ahead and skip. There we go. Let's go ahead and check out some benchmarking tests basically. Let's see, I don't have Quadrant installed on this device, so I'm just going to go ahead and quickly go to the market because I have Quadrant. A lot of people don't like that because you can cheat and everything, but now I've like basically restarted everything and everything, so it should be kind of the same. Let's see here, we had another Antutu. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and run that benchmarking test as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and run a full benchmarking test here. Way quicker here. FPS is around 60, yes, should be kind of the same, I think. You can actually see a little bit of higher FPS also in the Galaxy S3 here. Okay, so there we go. I got a score of 5,380, I think. And only a score of 4,000 here on the Galaxy S3. So way higher on this test. It's over the HTC One X here, I can see. It's also better than the Asus Transformer Prime. It's definitely playing here in another league when you're playing, when you're doing those tests. If you go ahead also and check out, if you go ahead and go to the Play Store, go ahead and go to Antutu, and we can maybe do this at the same time. Wow, way faster than the Galaxy S2. You can clearly see it when we have a ton of apps open up in the background and everything. It's so much faster on this device, basically. Wow. We're gonna go ahead and open it up here. If you really want the latest, the Galaxy S3 is probably something for you. But I mean, still, it's a massive phone. Still, the Galaxy S2 here, basically. Go ahead and start off the test. Taking some cola. Yes. Do I think that you should upgrade your Galaxy S2 to a Galaxy S3? Do I think that? That's a good question. I mean, like, upgrading the phone every single year, I don't think that's the thing that you really should do. That's mostly for people that just want the latest. I mean, like, there's so many things like that is kind of the same. I mean, like, if you look at the experience, yes, it is a little bit faster, the Galaxy S3 and everything. Yes, it feels better. It feels very much better, smooth and everything in transitions. But I mean, like, if you can't afford that, I mean, chill out. You shouldn't buy a new phone every year. It's only for us hardcore people that really want the latest, that this is for. We're also going to go ahead and take a look at the camera apps, because that's kind of interesting. I also think that they could update maybe TouchWiz to look a little bit better sometimes, in terms of things that you see. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so it's finished. We can see some pretty interesting scores here. CPU on the Galaxy S2, 2,956 versus 7,180, so it's around 50% better, clearly, as you can see here, or stronger. RAM is also around 2,580 on the Galaxy S3 versus 1,056 on the Galaxy S2, so I mean, they made some sick optimizations probably to the RAM. The GPU is very much the same here. Of course, it's overclocked on the Galaxy S3, around like 50%. But still, I/O a little bit higher on the Galaxy S3, but still, the CPU is of course the biggest thing here that is much better, and also the RAM over here. So they made some sick optimizations to the RAM and how that thing works. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Let's go ahead and try some pictures here, shall we? Let's go ahead and try some pictures. Let's go ahead and take some pictures here on my Sony Xperia S. So we're just going to go ahead and open up that app. Let's go ahead and open up. Go ahead and talk a little bit about the camera. There we go. Let's put this one in the middle. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the camera app, shall we? So when we take pictures and everything, have they updated the camera that much? Like let's go ahead and put on some sound. Okay, I love to hear that camera shutter sound. But I mean, like, if you ask me personally, I like to take a lot of pictures with my smartphone and everything, and I gotta say, it doesn't really feel like they've updated the camera that much. I mean, the Sony Xperia S camera is like way better if you only take pictures. The same goes with, like, I think even the HTC One X could have a better camera. But I mean, the camera is decent. The main thing here that that Sammy Boy has focused a lot on is to add a lot more features when you take pictures. As you can see, we have now an autofocus option. You also have the macro mode and everything. Over here you have the burst mode, so you can take so many quick pictures so quick. Like, you can really take pictures quick and everything. I also saw that it has something like a cool little mode here, a cool panorama mode. Oh. Okay, there we go. We have the cool panorama mode, so they mean like cool, so you just move it around where you should move it, and then you can make like a cool panorama picture. You will see here pretty soon. So I'm making a panorama picture, panorama view here currently of my room. There we go. It has basically done that picture. So as you see, this is a panorama shot of my room over here. It's very good at that. I mean, like, you can create some pretty awesome, cool panorama pictures if you do appreciate that. But it's a feature that's also been available on the Galaxy Nexus. But the main thing I'm trying to say here is that it doesn't really feel like they've updated the camera that much. The camera sensor very much feels the same, so that was a little bit boring. I was really like hoping for something new, cool, revolutionary. Here you can see that we don't have those new features there, like burst mode and burst shot, and it really feels nice when you can take pictures really quick with the Galaxy S3. One thing I want to say about video mode is, like, if you watch a lot of video on your device, if you take pictures in a dark environment, what you should know about these AMOLED displays is that they could display the black color a little blocky sometimes. So if you watch a lot of movies and it has a lot of dark environments in it, then it can feel very blocky, and that's something that I really do hate about AMOLED displays. I really do hate when it feels blocky and you can see a lot of blocks. Let's say you are trying to take pictures in a dark environment or something like that. Same shit. I mean, you can really feel like the black color goes blocky and everything. It looks just weird, okay? But I don't watch a lot of movies on my device, so I don't have that issue, kind of. But when you take pictures in dark environments, it really feels like you get too much blockiness compared to like a Sony Xperia S or like an HTC One X. It's way better at that thing. Even though when we talk about video mode, I love that I can get that 29 FPS from my Galaxy S3 and my Galaxy S2 and like the Sony Xperia S, but I can't get that when I'm trying to take pictures with my HTC One X. And it's only the international variant I'm talking about with the HTC One X, the Tegra 3 variant. So I'm not talking about anything else, you know, like that. Let's go ahead and compare the browser a little bit. Like when we go to websites and everything, how is the loading speed and all those good things. So I mean, like, personally, the Google Chrome browser is out, but I just like the stock browser a little bit more, at least on Galaxy S2 devices, because it feels like when you zoom in and out, it feels way better. Okay, yeah. So let's just go ahead and fire it up. Okay, there we go. So we are on Google's page. Let's just go to some pages. I've cleared the cache and everything, so should be kind of nice. Okay, there we go. And I still do believe, or still think, that it feels like the display looks much brighter, or a little bit brighter here. The color white looks a little bit better, I think, on the Pen Tile display versus the Super AMOLED Plus screen here. I mean, like, if you see this in real life, I think it looks better, okay? I think it looks better on the Galaxy S3 here. But some people are saying that still Super AMOLED Plus looks way better. Yeah, maybe in movies or something, but over here, right now, when I watch these displays, it looks better, okay? Maybe I have a yellow, maybe I have a problem with my Galaxy S2, I'm not sure. let's just go ahead and fire it up here. It's the mobile version on the website, and I think it was quicker. I definitely do believe it was quicker here on the Galaxy S3. Okay, this will be interesting. Okay, both are loading still. Okay, I think it was a tiny bit faster there on the Galaxy S3. In terms of smoothness and everything, the Galaxy S3 browser is still very buttery smooth and everything. And let's see here. I want to see if they have changed that. I just love that, like when you hold it down somewhere and when you go in and out, it feels so good. That experience is not something that I'm getting on the HTC One X, and that's something that I really do hate about it. Like, it feels like butter, and I love that shit. I think it responded here also a little bit quicker on the Galaxy S3 when I was clicking on the picture. Of course, they're loading ads. The Galaxy S2 is quicker over here from what we can see. And I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in pretty soon, I think. But I'm not sure why the Galaxy S2 screen here looks so much yellow. It really looks yellow. Like when I hold it, when I have these phones over here, it really feels yellowish, and it looks ugly as hell. If you go ahead and look at how it handles the tabs, something I hate that Samsung still is using is that they're using this kind of old way of handling tabs. They don't use the same way as the Galaxy Nexus. The Galaxy Nexus basically have the same way as multitasking. I think that this is how it should look like. This is how the tabs should be, so you can swipe to remove things and not use something like this. Is very retarded because you have to push on that little button. I freaking hate it, okay? I hate it. But I mean, as you can see, I mean, in the browser you can see that they have kind of the same performance. The Galaxy S3 is probably a little bit quicker sometimes, but overall, I mean, both these browsers are butter smooth and everything. And you may see a difference when you have a lot of apps up in the background, that the Galaxy S3 will handle it much better because the RAM is like, it got like 2000 or like 50% more points, or you know, just way more points. And the CPU is like 4 times stronger and everything, so you will be able to run a lot of things in the background. Now, let's talk about a little bit of build quality here. Something I quickly want to talk about is that I was a little bit skeptical to the Galaxy S3's button here on the side. I felt it a little bit that when you tap on up and down, some of the first few times when I did it, it felt like the button got stuck a little bit. This could be because I'm having an early unit, and usually the early units have something faulty with them. But overall, it feels like the Galaxy S2's up and down keys feel so much more solid than on the Galaxy S3. So something that I'm a little bit disappointed with the Galaxy S3 is definitely that they have the same kind of camera sensor. I'm also a little bit disappointed in that. That we didn't see any like revolutionary over there. That they still have kind of the same pen file display as on the Galaxy Nexus and the Galaxy Note. That's also something that I'm also disappointed about. But I don't think that's major problems with the phone. I think that they could have done those a little bit more updates. But in terms of the software experience, with the hardware, how they have made that, made like awesome, like when you do it like this, they have such an awesome build quality. I think that is where I'm still going to use the Galaxy S3. And if you talk about the button quality here on the side, I haven't really had a problem with it. If you talk about the home button really feels solid. I didn't feel a problem with that phone. Oh my god. Of course, they have this wannabe Siri right now on the Galaxy S3, like S Voice, and I like that Xiaomi is always working on trying to bring new stuff to the table, even though they have copied someone else over there. I mean, we all just want a better product in the long run. Let's see here. Of course, when we are in the app drawer, you can see that they made so big changes. So you don't have to like download a new like app launcher or something like that, because the stock TouchWiz UI looks really good on the new TouchWiz UX, I think they're calling it. So they have the real like Android 4.0 like experience here, kind of ish, with apps and widgets. Even though they still have their green theme up there in the top, looks a little bit like gingerbread, and so I think that they could have optimized that a little bit more. I think they could make a ton of more changes to TouchWiz, but I think this is a very good start to making TouchWiz looks way more modern than what it does on the Galaxy S2. I mean, I don't want to change the launcher right now. I think the stock TouchWiz UI launcher looks so good. When I was rocking it on the Galaxy S2 and on the Galaxy Note, I was running with the Apex launcher because I think that one looks much better. But with the new TouchWiz UI, I think I'm gonna keep doing it and keep doing it like this. And it's just that they've added these, made some optimization over here, so it really looks modern and everything. I just love them to do those things. Also, if you go ahead and look at the gallery, now I'm not going to do that because there's some private stuff there, but when you look at the gallery, you can see that they made so big changes. So like you can see like every miniature they have optimized it more. When you are on like a picture on the Galaxy S3 and you want to quickly share it to an app, let's say you're using an app, I'll often share the picture with that app, then the program, the new TouchWiz UI will remember that. So at the top you will always have a quick shortcut. When you're looking at that picture, you can quickly just tap on that shortcut to jump to that app immediately to share that picture. Something that you had to click on the menu button on the Galaxy S2 to access that. So some very nice additions in the TouchWiz UI that they've done that I just love so much, and just these very simple graphic things that looks better, much better, and then on the Galaxy S2 much more interesting and everything. And I haven't had a single crash with the Galaxy S3. The performance really feels solid. It feels like we don't have these baby issues with lags, stuff like that, like we saw on the Sony Xperia S. On the HTC One X, it has a camera issue. I really appreciate the Xiaomi boy was waiting a little bit until they released the Galaxy S3, because if Xiaomi boy would have released the Galaxy S3 around the same time as HTC released their HTC One X, then we probably would have those kind of child baby issues when you can see some performance lag sometimes, the camera issues and everything. I think it's good that Xiaomi boy is still doing it to their own kind of speed, and they're still having that removable backside so you can change the battery and everything. I love it, you know. So should you update? Well, it's totally up to you, but I mean, I went from the Galaxy Note to now the Galaxy S3, and I can't wait to see what Xiaomi boy is going to do with the Galaxy Note 2. I think this is going to be the phone of the year just because the way it performs, and I think it's a very solid update to the Galaxy S2. If you go ahead and also look, you can also go ahead and look at like most apps are kind of the same feeling over here, but I mean, just look at this. You can really feel that they went from gingerbread Android 2.3 feeling over here to a real solid, cool Android 4.0 experience over here. I mean, it looks like I'm running some kind of third-party app, but in fact, I'm not doing that. This is the cool kind of launch and everything. Even though, I mean, like, you still get that Android 2.3 feeling sometimes when you're going in menus and stuff like that on the Galaxy S2 and Galaxy S3, but I don't think that it's that of a big deal right now. I mean, like, maybe I'm just have been getting used to it, but of course, if you really want to customize the device, you can really do that by just going going to XDA Developer Forum and just go ahead and install whatever you want. And I mean, I've been trying out gaming as well on the Galaxy S3, and runs so much better than from what I've been seeing on the Tegra 3 devices. Like I've been trying this latest game Nova 3 on my Asus Resmore Prime, which is rocking on Tegra 3, and it's like quad-core and everything. Same as the HTC One X is going to be running, same as the Optimus 4X is going to be running with the processor and everything. And it lags like shit, or I mean, it feels much better on the Exynos Exynos chipset, and that could be just because they have slowed down on the graphics and everything for Exynos chipsets. But I mean, I also saw on Tegra 3 optimized game that it feels like the Galaxy S3 can handle those games better than Tegra 3 optimized tabs. Like I was playing, what was it called? Do I have it? Shadowgun. Yeah, I was playing Shadowgun on the Galaxy S3. It really feels like it runs it better than the Asus One Prime. And that's a Tegra 3 optimized game. I was also running Riptide GP, that's also like a Tegra 3 game. Runs amazing on the Galaxy S3, so I feel this is a solid update. I mean, like, oh my god. I'm looking forward to check out the LG Optimus 4X as well, and for some other Android 4.0 devices this month, and we're gonna get a ton of other new cool things and goodness coming up. And of course, they have also added a widget over here, so I think that they have kind of got inspired by HTC Sense and adding like a play widget. I'm not sure if you have that from the stock. Do you have like a play widget so you can play stuff? And I mean, they also have some sick other stuff like some cool things that I'm going to go ahead and show off in some other videos about the Galaxy S3. I don't think we have a play widget over here as we get on the Galaxy S3, like from the stock. No, I don't think we have that. Okay, that's kind of cool. That's also kind of nice that they've added that addition. But like that, you can have a video on top. Let's say you're watching a movie on the Galaxy S3, then you can go ahead and pop out that video and put it on the screen and do other like Gmail stuff and everything in the background. I mean, I think that's amazing. I think that's pretty darn cool that you can go ahead and do that. So yeah, a very quick little video where I'm showing off some stuff here on my wonderful new Galaxy S3. If you want to see something special, hit me up in a Medoka video about this. Yeah, you just have an awesome day, and I will see you all in the next video maybe. No, I'm not sure. Yes, I'm not really sure. Bye bye.